Hello, geniuses, and thank you so much for joining me on tonight's Monday night mentorship. I tonight am very particularly excited because we are bringing one of our own and only onto the show today. Let me go ahead and send her a request now so she can know that I am on. Hi, Caitlin. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. I am saying how I'm bringing one of the pre-OTs in this group live today so we can talk a little bit more about our observation hours. And her name is Stacey Hayes. And live in the, give me 1 second so I can let her know in the real group now. All right. So Stacey will be joining me in a minute now, and she has honestly done a phenomenal job. I've already worked with quite a few of you, and I think that she is just one of those students that has done such a good job at getting other. Hey, how are you, Kavita? How are you? And she's done such a great job in getting those observation hours and networking. So I kind of just wanted to bring her on and have her share her experience and what it is that she's been doing in order to make it happen. So as soon as she comes on, I already sent her the request. Let me go and just do it again just in case. Boom. So once she is on, she'll be able to do that. So one of the things too that I just kind of wanted to talk about was the importance of networking, and I think that it is so important to network, especially if you're looking to get observation hours, because that's going to be one of the things that creates such a big difference in that. Because when you are getting your observation hours, it is only going to come through the connections that you make. Like, you can't expect to basically go and ask a facility to let you on into this place, and you just expect them to give you the hours that you need, because there's usually either a waiting list. So one of the only ways that you're going to be able to handle that is by okay, come on, Stacey. And hello, everyone. I'm waiting for Stacey to join the real group. There we go. Okay, I'm going to bring her on. She's on. And about observation hours. Okay, it's adding her as we speak. Hey, Stacey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I am doing really good. I am really excited to be sharing this information with a bunch of awesome pre-OTs. So, I was telling them before I brought you on that you actually, I think, have done a phenomenal job in just reaching out to other OTs and making the connections that you need to get yourself out there. So, I kind of just, first off, wanted to start off with what is one of the biggest advice that you would offer to any pre-OTs wanting to make some of the connections that you have made?
I would say think outside the box. Like, don't look at it as like, okay, this is a path that I have to go and I have to do A, B, C, D. Think, okay, in what environment am I in where I know an OT, where I know somebody that's affiliated in the medical field that I can talk to? For instance, I work in the restaurant industry, and I work with this woman. I'm just talking to her. She has a friend that's an OT. Oh my gosh, great. Can you connect me with her so I can get information and maybe see about getting OT hours through her? So I do that. And then I end up going to her place, and that was the Love Lane therapeutic horseback riding program. So I started doing
Oh,
OT hours there.
So you basically were making connections in the OT world through your current job.
Yes, definitely. That's one way. Another way, my daughter was in a running program through, it's called Striver's Running Program for Girls. And so one of the coaches works in a rehabilitation center. And so I thought, gosh, I haven't talked to her in like a couple of years, but it can't hurt. What do I have to lose? I'll just email her and see what I can get. So I emailed her and she emailed me back with information and a contact to somebody that I can speak with. They'd love to have me try to set something up. Um, it's just constantly like talking to different people, talking about it. You have to, you gotta, like you say, you have to live it. And another way that I have tried to, I'm at school one day. So I'm sitting at school, I'm in the
Mm.
library, and you know, everybody's in school, they're doing their A&P, they're doing all this other stuff. And I'm at the desk and I've got my book open, and this woman approaches me and asks me, she's like, "Oh, wow, you know, you look like you're studying really hard. What are you studying?" And I said, "Oh, anatomy and physiology." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, you know, I've been there before." And she said, "Oh, are you going to nursing school?" And I said, "No, actually, occupational therapy." Well, lo and behold, she said, "Oh, I'm an occupational therapist." And so I was like, "Oh, wow." So she was the occupational, or is the occupational therapist for the university.
There you go.
So I said, "Can I connect with you? Is there some way that I can like talk to you later on? We'll exchange emails and talk about different ways for me to connect with the OT world." Absolutely. So now I'm going Thursday with her to a panel of OTs at a hospital that they join every single month. They go there and they talk, and it's like perfect. It was like a perfect scenario, but that sort of just fell into my lap. You know what I mean? Like, but the idea is to just like if you're at school, you know, everybody in your class, look around your classroom, like everybody, not, you know, maybe not everybody's in there for nursing. Maybe there's other people in there for OT. Talk to them. It's really just thinking, like I said, just thinking outside the box, like where can I get these hours from? And you can't stop, and you can't, you know, everybody's got different personalities too. Like I have a very outgoing personality, and there might be some people that are super shy and like, oh, you know, maybe she can do something like that, but I don't think I can do something like that. Well, just think about what you want out of OT. How bad do you want it, and how bad do you want to
Hmm.
the program? And you know, try to get the courage and just, I mean, you're not losing anything by asking questions. You know, the worst anybody can say to you is no. And then you move on and you go and you until somebody says yes. And you just keep finding ways to get into a clinic, different observations. Just try to find a way to find hours. I mean, that's the best way I can tell you to do it. It's not easy, but I'm saying if you're in school and you're pre-OT, use your university or use wherever you're going, the community college, use that place and find out because there's definitely an OT on site helping students.
Exactly. For sure. And I love the way that you're talking about this just because I think so many pre-OTs, they get stuck on, oh, let me call a facility and look up all these facilities within my town or whatever and see if I can get in there, and they don't focus on making the connections that they
Yeah,
need to get in those
yeah,
facilities. Like they'll call a place and they'll just, they're talking to the front desk person and
right.
they'll be like, "Hey, can I go and do observation hours? Do you guys take students?" And then they get upset that they're telling them no. And they're like, "Of
Yeah,
course, like you don't, like you're giving even the front desk person a little bit of extra work. Now the front desk person needs to go talk to the OTs, see if there's anyone that's willing to take you on to shadow them,
yeah,
like versus, hey, like I'm interested in the occupational therapy profession. Is there an occupational therapist that I can speak with? I want more information. You build rapport with that
yeah,
person. Then you basically, you go in with the
yeah,
can I shadow you? Can I get these hours?
yeah,
Who else can I, like, what about knowing other people in this setting? Do you know anyone that I can connect with there?
yeah.
Because OTs obviously know other
They
OTs.
know they are.
Like
They're in a
I
big circle, you know. You know,
So,
everybody knows
uh,
everybody.
yeah, the main way that you are going to uh, get these hours is by connecting yourself to the OT world already and starting to get to know who the OTs are.
Yeah,
So that's really what I think is one of the best ways. So I thank you so much for sharing that perspective.
yeah.
And as a as a pre OT yourself, I'm wondering now, what is it that is making you choose occupational therapy?
Well, it's been a long road. I'm for almost 45 years old, and I've been in the restaurant industry for almost my whole life. And I have an education, I have a 4-year degree, and I love working with people. And so I was sort of trying to figure out, well, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I want something to matter in life. I want to find something that will benefit somebody else. I want to make a difference in someone else's life. At the end of the day, I want to feel good about making that connection with somebody and making a difference. And I say, well, gosh, I do it every single day. I go to work, I connect with people all day long. I'm constantly talking to different guests and just having conversations with them. But, I'm serving them food and I want something more than that. I want to be able to really impact somebody's life. So I started to research it and then, I came upon occupational therapy and I read a lot about it and I thought, oh my gosh, this is like my calling. This is exactly what I was looking for.
Mm.
There's just so many different avenues that you can take with it. There's so many different populations you can work with. It's never dull. And just from actually going out there and observing, you see that. You know what I mean? And I haven't really observed that much, to be quite honest with you. I've only observed like children, but even within that, it's just like I said, it's a never a dull moment. It's like one thing after the next. And then when you're observing the OTs in the settings that I've been in, like in a center, it's like every 30 minutes they have somebody different. So it's kind of like the restaurant industry in a way where it's like there's every hour you have somebody new at your table, you know what I mean? And it's just something new. And so I thought, gosh, they sort of are related a little bit, not completely because one's medical and one's service, but it's still like serving people. And so that was one of the things, and I just wanted to do something to help other people and make my community a better place and make the world a better place, really.
That's so cool. That is really, really cool. So I have another question for you. Because you were kind of saying how uh you're in the restaurant industry. I personally was in the restaurant industry during OT school, actually, to make a little bit of side money. And you learn a lot about people. How has your current job, even in the restaurant industry, like, do you see this even helping you in the future career that you're pursuing now
Yeah.
as an occupational therapist?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have to even though, you have to manage those different personalities. You have to know that it's not cookie cutter. Not every single person has the same needs emotionally, especially.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make sure that you approach a situation um, differently than maybe the last. And like one of the things that I noticed, like as I was observing some of the observations, um, this girl in the horseback riding program, she is 11 years old. She has depression, and so she was really upset. Now, I've been to the farm like 5 times already, and I've seen her. And this time that I saw her, she had broken down, and she was really, really upset and crying her eyes out, like nobody can console her. And I was watching the OT, and the OT did not tell her to calm down. Not once did she say calm down. She talked around that saying, I know how you feel. I understand that you're upset. You have to get on the horse. The horse is
Mm.
waiting for you. Belle is here waiting for you. And this will make you feel better. And so finally, I mean, it took a little while. It took like 10 minutes, but she talked her into getting on the horse. She gets on the horse and she's still sobbing, like on the horse. She's still sobbing. But once she gets her on the horse, she's like, okay, start doing your warm up exercises. And then literally, so the session was like 30 minutes. By the end of that session, this girl was smiling and was on point with her training. Like she was weaving in and out of cones. She was really focused. And I just thought it was really amazing how the OT took that situation, which how would she have known that this girl was going to be this upset coming into the session? And then all of a sudden is like, okay, well, we're going to fix this. And like I said, she never told her to calm down once. She worked around that and finally got her on the horse. Another OT that was working with another child who has behavioral issues, and he is just one of those kids that he likes to grab and he likes to pull hair, and he's just he just can't handle himself. So I thought it was also amazing to just watch her get down on his level, get down on her knee, and talk to him, and just start like playing games with him before his horse came out, just like, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do this and let's I spy with my eye, just simple games that you play with kids. But it like got him under control to where he wasn't ready to like run away. You know what I mean? So it's just interesting to see some of the techniques that they use with kids who are
Right.
not perfect, who are not, okay, well, you go through a system of, okay, we do this routine, this routine, this routine. Well, what happens when the routine is broken? Then what?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And and then that's what I also want my pre-OTs in this group to even learn and notice is that whether you are working in retail, whether you are working in the restaurant industry, whether you are working in a bank, it doesn't matter what it is that you're doing. The skills that you are learning in your current job, or even if you actually are just a stay-at-home mom, can be transferable into the OT
Yeah.
world. And these are skills that can be useful in your application. And then not only that, useful during your observation hours, because that's also the key. If you like, the goal too during your observation hours is to stand out in a way that is going to make the facility say this is one of the best volunteers that we've ever had,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. Like, she just didn't stand there and like observe, like, because, well, first off, everybody does that. Like, you're there to learn, and it's called observation hours for a reason, you know.
Yeah.
But maybe, like, with the kids that you're working with, like, you could even take do it yourself toys, or that the therapist can use,
Yeah.
or you can create something that the therapist can use, and ask her perspective on, like, how can this be used, and you can learn something yourself and watch how she
Yeah.
uses it.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so much that can make you stand out during your observation hours. So like that too, when the letters of recommendation time comes, they can remember you standing out, and they're like, no, she was like actually a lot, like, more than just a typical observation hour student.
Yeah.
um so like, that's why I was asking you a little bit about the restaurant industry, because I think because OT is so broad, like, it can intertwine with so many things.
Yeah.
And if we look closely enough, we can see how